How's it
Yeah.
going, Mark? Welcome back.
My whole computer crashed. Blue screen.
Oh
Ooh,
no.
blue screen.
Yeah.
Nice. Pushing that bad boy to its limits.
I guess. I mean, it wasn't really doing. I had like 8 web pages open, but big deal.
Oh, are you using Chrome?
Yeah.
Then it is a big deal.
But we should be back live.
I've
Yep.
been having this weird issue. Like I updated my drivers whenever Call of Duty came out,
Mm-hmm.
um, and since then, for whatever reason, like if I open more than 2 tabs on Chrome, my CPU usage just like shoots up to 97%. And I
Damn,
can't do anything. It's super weird. I don't understand it.
that is weird.
It seems to like be a Chrome issue. I don't know.
I know that Chrome definitely uses a lot of memory runs. That's the complaint that I've always heard.
Yeah.
I don't know, but Mike and Pop switched spots on the stream now.
Whoa.
I don't know how to fix it, and I don't care.
Dun,
Yeah.
dun.
I liked it actually though with the pink in the middle. Giggity.
Giggity. All
Wait,
right.
on mine, I'm like all the way to the right.
Yeah, no, I have it flipped on the
Oh, okay.
but I couldn't even tell you how we got it to be. Hold on, is there a way I could do it?
So I spent all that time just making a list of like notable games on my phone, and then my phone just
Died.
It took a note from your PC and just
Blue
the
screen.
Apple logo came up. I've never seen that before. Like it just
Hard reset.
died.
Well, I guess that means I'm next.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, so where were we at? I didn't my
Talking about Skyrim and Portal 2 coming out in 2011.
Yeah, I just made like a quick. I have like a 20 game list here, but some of these I don't know technically if they should count. Like,
yeah, we were on Mario Maker, right?
but yeah, Mario Maker's what we're talking about. I have that on my list. Mario Maker's great.
Yeah. Some of these are tough to say though, because like some of these games are like remakes of games that were already
Yeah, see, that was where it's like, does Shadow of the Colossus count?
Yes.
right.
That's a really good remake.
Well, I'm saying
But
we
also-
we don't have a set number. I mean, we're just talking about notable games
Yeah,
of the decade. And Shadow of the Colossus. Wait, you're saying the remake?
Yeah.
yeah, because original Shadow of the Colossus came out before 2010, but that
That's
remake is fantastic.
incredible.
The remake is like,
Because that
Oh.
game came out at the tail end of the PS2. Yeah?
Yep.
That game's incredible for on the PS2. The fact that it was able to run
Yeah.
like that on there.
yeah,
But the remake, yeah, I would say no. You could talk about it, but they didn't.
see, to me, I would count Shadow of the Colossus remake because it's like not a like. So remember how they did that PS3 version of Shadow of Colossus? I think
The
it was a package.
it was an HD remaster.
Yeah, where it was all it was they just made it into HD.
It was
Where
upgraded.
this is like everything from the ground up was redone. Like
Right,
the
they
entire
made the same
game.
game again in a new engine, whereas the
Exactly.
PS3 was higher resolutions and textures.
yeah,
Yep.
and to me it's just like just for like the frame rate issues like in this game, like being able to play the game how you could see back then it was like intended to play if they could do it like where frames wouldn't drop. It's just I don't know. That was like definitely one where like even though it's a remake, I'm like I feel like I have to like mention this. I have to throw it out here.
I bought it.
Mm.
I bought that game and I haven't tried it yet. The remake. But I beat
bought
the original one.
special edition. I bought the special edition with the steel case, and I didn't open it. It's still sealed. I bought it digitally to play it because I didn't want to like. I feel like I want to keep this.
Did you play The
Nice.
Last Guardian, and would you put that on a list of influential or noteworthy games of the decade?
I did play it, and I wouldn't because I feel like it's super dated.
I was pretty bored with it when I was playing.
It feels like it would have been a really good like early PlayStation 3 game.
It could have been a launch title for the PS4, but it needed to be there at launch. That
Yeah.
game being released in the middle of the console's life cycle is probably a no-no. Do we talk about Cuphead on a list like this? I think so. I think.
Oh,
Yeah, I think
Obviously.
Cuphead's even just in the talking point of like art style, like that gets it up there. Like,
just art style, but the fact
Just
that
art
it's a run and gun shooter, big like boss battle fucking thing, kind of like Contra,
yeah.
kind of like Metal Slug, just run and shoot. Battletoads, if you want to, it's similar to all those types of games, and I think it belongs in the conversation.
Definitely. And I think bringing a new art style to it was just a fun way to shake it up and like get people reinterested in the run and gun and the boss battles.
Right, because you got people who probably aren't really into gaming who are looking at that game, right? They're seeing it because
Yeah,
people are like,
and they
oh,
see the old cartoon and go, "Oh my god, I love old cartoons."
yeah. And it really
Then
does look like you're watching an episode of one.
Yeah,
I actually remember that being a complaint when it first came out of people like seeing a trailer for it or seeing like an advertisement or whatever, being like, "That looks like a cartoon back in my day," and then they went and bought it thinking it was gonna be like this fun like thing, and then it was super difficult. They're like, "What the fuck?" Like, but yeah, like the art style is just incredible. Like,
Yeah. Mustaine, he told me,
Yeah.
he's like, this is why I can't play that game because it's just too frustrating. And it's like, it is. But it's no matter how frustrating it is, if you play the same level over and over again, you get a teensy bit further each time until it's just your brain just recognizes the pattern and you do it.
Yeah.
It's like anybody could probably beat that game. It's all about patience. It's all about patience.
It's like your classic.
I mean,
like,
and
old
skill.
school video game with like trial and error. Like, it's like a typical bass bottle for bass bottle. I can't speak.
Yeah.
This is the fucking rum hitting a boss battle. This is a boss battle from like an old game where it's like you have to play it. You know that you're gonna die the first time, and it's like learning the patterns of the boss and what like attacks. It's like, oh, when I see this animation, I know this attack is coming, so I have to do this.
Right.
It's like that.
Yeah.
The game.
Right. Yeah.
You know.
And then but then the real punishing aspect of Cuphead comes in when there are no checkpoints. You have 3 hit points, and that's it. There are no health pickups. There's no regeneration. You get hit 3 times in the level, and you're dead. Luckily, the level is either run and gun or a big crazy boss battle. So far with my experience, it hasn't been both.
right.
Yeah, it's one of the two, I think.
The next game that I'm seeing on this list, and I'll let you go and rattle some off if you want, but do we include walking simulators like What Remains of Edith Finch? Because I never played that, and I know a lot of people
I
have.
heard it was really good,
But it's just you're reading a book at that point, right? I mean, does
Yeah.
it need to be a game, or would it be just as good as a television show, or you're not really doing anything? An interactive Are we talking about the top interactive experiences?
because it's like with that, it's like I don't know when this came out. I guess I can look it up, but like to me, like the pinnacle of those games are like The Walking Dead,
Telltale games.
the Telltale game.
Yeah,
'cause it's
similar.
like that first season of The Walking Dead Telltale game is like, I think like as good as like it seemed like they made that first season, and that's why the Telltale like genre of games got so popular was because of that first season of The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
And then it seemed like everything they made after that was kind of what like it didn't live up to that expectation. Because I think like that was the best you can make that experience.
Okay.
But yeah, to me, it's like that was like.
Well,
If we're gonna say one of those games, I feel like it's got to be that one.
I mean, it's cool because, or it's cool. It's similar to what you said about Fortnite. How you love it. You're like the world's biggest Fortnite fan, but you wouldn't put it on a list of games like this.
I wouldn't put it in the top 10.
A top 10. You wouldn't put it in top 10.
It definitely. I wrote it down on this list. Like,
I was really into Detroit Become Human, and I wouldn't put that even on this list at all. Like it was a game. It existed, but it doesn't.
Yeah.
At the end, for me, it just kind of fell short. I still had a good time the whole time, but I don't know. Like, it's probably an easy platinum. You just follow a guide and get
Yeah.
and I don't know that I would want to sit through it again. Just, I mean, it's pretty predictable what's going to happen each time you do something, but it was just fun the first time. You know what I mean? But I think that's probably the one demographic to look at when making a list like this is replay value, right? Can you pick up
Yeah.
that game and play it with just as much enthusiasm as you did the first time?
For sure.
Didn't Detroit have multiple endings though?
Oh yeah, there's like
Like a
There's a
lot of
ton of
endings.
yeah.
options.
And you have no interest in going back to see any of those other ones?
I mean,
You think it was predictable enough?
I
Like
think
when you made a choice where it was going to lead?
I think some of them are different in the sense that like you can permadeath characters, you know.
Right.
They're dead and they're no longer in the story, so that would effectively change the outcome of the ending somehow.
One that I that fits in the same category that I wrote down here is Until Dawn. Like very similar as far as like there's not much gameplay going on there. You're just making decisions and reacting to things. But like
It was a fun experience. I didn't play it, but
super
I
fun
watched people play it. And
yeah, super fun experience, and it definitely does have replay value in the fact that like if you don't have like a perfect run the first time,
He's
which I feel like
fading.
it's very easy to not have a first perfect run, then like you can play that game multiple times to try to have everybody survive or whatever. See the
Yeah.
different options, things like that.
And I love that game. I played that game a couple of times through. I even made my wife play that game once through.
did she like
yeah, I
it?
was a big
She
fan.
did right up till the ending because she got all the way there and kept everybody alive, and then she made one wrong light switch flick and like everybody dies.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
So she was super disappointed with that. But other than that, like for somebody that doesn't usually play games, I mean, other than Donkey Kong Country, you know, that actually like got her to sit down and play it, and yeah, it's pretty good.
Did you would you put any VR games on
Yeah, for me, I actually put Resident Evil 7 VR because I that's how I played that game, and to me that's
Ooh.
like it's like the best VR experience. Like I have the PlayStation VR, so like I guess I'm limited to what comes out on
Nah,
PlayStation.
I'm
but,
still convinced that that's where we should be playing VR until it's like really, really
yeah.
optimized.
To me, just like the idea of like, and I think it's really only happened with Resident Evil 7 is like getting like an entire like console game that's made that like if Resident Evil like if you played Resident Evil on Xbox, right, doesn't have the VR option, that is still like a full like fleshed out game with features and like it's a whole game. To have that to be able to play a whole game in VR is like I feel like the kind of
criteria that needs to be set.
yeah,
for,
where
right.
it seems like a lot of VR games are like, here's this 5 hour experience, but it's not like a whole game. It's just like, what
Right.
if you could do these cool things in VR? Where to me, Resident Evil 7 was like the first like, and it's interesting because it came out pretty early on in the PlayStation like VR lifespan.
Right.
Yeah,
So,
it
like,
did.
yeah, it was fantastic. And just like then you add on like it's a horror game and in VR it makes it even scarier and just all that is like I don't know, that was a really good VR game.
I see one here that I agree with. Shadow of Mordor was a stellar experience for me. The sequel I heard not
Definitely.
so great things about, but the first one
Yeah.
was amazing. Mike,
No, I agree.
are
Yeah,
you with us?
I put a couple of hours into that one. Honestly, James put more time into that one than I did. But I mean, it always seemed like a cool concept. I played a lot of the like when the trilogy was coming out in the theaters. They also put out like the trilogy of games back on. I think I had them on the GameCube, so PS2, GameCube, Xbox era.
Right.
Like that's my past experience with the Lord of the Rings games. But
Yeah.
I mean, this one seemed pretty cool. Just seemed
Lord of the
To me,
Rings
I thought it
games
was
on
like-
PS2 were great.
Yeah.
I thought it was like an average to okay game except for the like the system that they had. Whereas like when you die to somebody, then they like remember you.
Oh,
and they get
it really,
stronger.
it
The
really,
Nemesis
it really,
Like,
yeah,
the Nemesis system made that game so unique.
yeah, it
and,
really
like,
shined in that way.
that's where
because-
like I was hoping the second one would like expand on that and like really like hone into like this is what's special about your game.
yeah, and they
And
tried
it
to
didn't do
monetize
that,
it
but-
instead.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, because otherwise that game is
yeah. It's just like
an Arkham
average-
game with a
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings costume on.
Right.
Do
Yeah.
either of you guys care about Monster Hunter World?
I
I
never
played
played
it
the
in-
Monster Hunter.
I played Monster Hunter World and I don't know. I couldn't get into it.
What about
I even
Control?
I only got it because I had friends that got it. And like
Yeah,
I
my
just didn't-
brother's been trying to get me into that game for years,
Monster
but I
Hunter?
just refused to do it.
What about Control? You guys have any?
I haven't had a chance to play that.
I want to
heard
play
it's
it.
pretty good.
It looks great. Control looks cool.
Real quick, going back to Monster Hunter, I
Yeah.
feel like this is a perfect segue into like before Monster Hunter came out, there was like a free game that came out in beta that was like I'm trying to think of that. I think it was called Dauntless, I think, which is essentially like it's like a free version of Monster Hunter, basically. And it was for PC, and then I think recently it came to PlayStation and Xbox.
I'm
Yep.
looking.
But,
Yep.
To me, like recently, and I know I'm like probably gonna be alone on this, but like I feel like that's like the Fortnite effect for me, where it's like you can like hate on Fortnite or like say it's like whatever, but like the fact that there's like that's a free game
Yeah.
is like kind of insane, and it set like a new standard for me for games where it's like whenever I go to buy a game, I now compare it to Fortnite. It's like I'm gonna pay $60 for this when there's like Fortnite that's free and that's giving me weekly updates, and every 2 months there's this huge event that happens, and there's this like I don't know. I feel like that's like the one thing I'll say about Fortnite is like I know it's like not everybody's cup of tea because it's a battle royale game and there's like building and it's this weird thing, but like
When you
the
think
fact that
about
the
it,
game's free and it gets like the updates as frequently as it does is like game changing for me, and it's affected the way I've bought games. And
Yeah,
like
they've
I think
they
Monster
definitely
Hunter
put
World
a lot of
is-
service into that.
Yeah, like Monster Hunter World is one of those games where like I bought it and I was like, but here's these other free games that are doing the same thing, and so I was just expecting more out of it. I
Yeah.
guess.
when you
I
think
think-
about it, it's a very kind of liberal-minded way of thinking, right? Which, you know,
Yeah,
typically we want to avoid any kind of political discussion here, but I'm just saying, like, you know, it's like a social system that exists for anybody to reap the benefits of, paid for by some, right? Some
Mhm.
people are dumping so much money into that
Yeah,
it's
I'm-
it's worth it to let it be there for free.
I'm one of those people.
Yeah,
Like,
right, exactly. So, has the game cost you $60 yet?
Oh,
Yeah. Okay. So there's when
way more than $60. We're in the like
He bought his Fortnite, your
We're in the-
Fortnite, my
we're in the 4
Fortnite.
digits. Fortnite.
He's buying
It's-
everybody's copy of Fortnite.
I've paid for like 20 people's Fortnite.
But
But it's just weird because I was never like that. Like any game that I played before Fortnite, I would
Yep.
never like. I would hate like. That's the reason why I stopped playing like NBA 2K
yep,
was because they started like throwing all this like microtransaction stuff into 2K, and I was like, I'm done. I'm not gonna play this. But then
Yeah.
the fact that Fortnite's free and they update it there's literally every Thursday there's an update, and like
Yep.
sometimes the updates are just we're fixing bugs and patching stuff, and sometimes the update is we're adding a new weapon and a new vehicle and two new like points of interest on the map. And it's like this huge update where it's like another game that would be a paid DLC worth of stuff, and it's a
Right.
free update that just randomly happens in a week. And
Yeah.
it's like I don't know, it just changed. Like it made me like truly value. I'm like, I don't like. I'll buy this $5 skin because I feel like I'm getting so much in return.
right.
And then it
Yeah.
just kept happening where I was like, I'll buy this $5 skin, and I'll buy, oh, this one's 20. This is a Batman skin. I'll buy that too. There's a Star Wars skin now. I'm probably gonna buy that. Like,
Right. But you're definitely getting well over the $60 worth of amusement that you
Yeah,
would
I've probably
expect
put
if you
in-
went to the store to buy it.
I've probably put in like in the last year and a half that Fortnite's been out. I've probably put in like I don't know 1,000+ hours into it.
Right.
So
Which,
I mean,
like for a lot of games, like you can't say like there's just not enough content there to do that. And the fact
Yeah.
that it's just like this is a free game that's giving you that much to do, it's crazy.
it probably makes more sense, right, to give the game for free and do that than to charge 60 and
Yeah.
then give all the extra shit for free,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like who's
Yep.
gonna?
But I think my main point with that is like I have Fortnite on my list here. Like I think it's definitely worth mentioning just for the fact that it's a free game. It's ridiculous. But then like I think that definitely ruined some games for me. And I think Monster Hunter, because Monster Hunter was like maybe a month and a half after I started playing. I really started playing Fortnite, and I think it's just that effect of like, man, I paid $60 for this game, but like this free game over here is like giving me way more. Like
Apple Arcade, man. Have you gotten into that?
I haven't. No,
It's great.
I heard it's pretty good.
$5 a month, and you get all these cool games with They don't ask you for money.
Yeah.
Dude, this guy's sucking down that rum. Do you put Flappy?
The ice is melting.
Do you put Flappy Bird on the list?
Flappy Bird.
I hear this game Papers, Please was really good. But again,
Oh yeah, I heard a lot of commotion about that for a little while.
Yep. Oxenfree. I have that new game made by the people who made Oxenfree.
Oxenfree was really good.
After Party. Did you guys play that?
After Party. That sounds super
Nope.
familiar.
After Party's pretty cool. So it's the same people who made Oxenfree. So it's like a dialogue kind of choice adventure. But what it is you play these two college kids who they're at a party and they realize that they're dead and they're actually in hell. And what hell is like a constant, like every night you have to go out partying. And then every day you go to like some job that you're assigned. But these two kids, they don't even know why they died or how they died. But they figured out that there's a loophole. If they can outdrink the devil, then they can get out of there. So that's what the whole game is focused on, them trying to basically...
Trying to out party the devil.
Yeah, but not at first. Like you have to make your way up to that. It's a really cool idea. I played maybe the first like 30 minutes of it and I was amused, but it's a lot of reading. Like there are little like there's beer pong mini games and like all these kind of party games, but for the most part it's just dialogue and picking the right things to say, and it's it's Ashley Birch, the girl from Everything these days, and the writing's like it's on point. So
I didn't even I remember watching the trailer for that. I didn't realize it was out yet.
Yeah, I downloaded it actually because I think it's digital only.
Is it on the Switch?
I think it's.
I remember seeing it for PlayStation. Like the trailer I watched was a PlayStation one. I feel like that's a Switch game, but
It's on PS4, Windows,
on
Xbox One, Mac OS, and it's later. It's gonna be on the Switch later.
Switch later. Gotcha.
Animal Crossing, New Leaf.
Oh, I forgot about that fucking game. Yes, absolutely on the list. Holy shit. My favorite franchise ever. I could go on about Animal Crossing. It's really good.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah. I'm super excited about the new one. That's all I have to say. It's really good. I don't know.
Mike, do you have any that are standing out to you?
I mean,
I hear a lot of
You're
good
still-
things about Beat Saber.
yeah, I
haven't had a
do.
chance to play that yet.
That does look like the VR version of Guitar Hero.
Yeah.
Like, here's a new platform. Here's the rhythm-based music game we made for it. Like, okay.
The one thing that kind of disappoints me about that is like the PC version, whatever VR headset you have for PC, seems to be like the best version to play that because has like the capability of adding way more songs to it. Whereas like the PlayStation version, you're just stuck with whatever songs came out with the game.
Right.
That's a good point.
And so it's like, I don't know that that's why I haven't played it yet, but like that's always in the back of my mind is like, damn, like I wish I could have this, like, you know, you see like whatever, you see a video on Twitter or something of somebody playing that game. It's like, oh, but that song's not in the PlayStation 4 version. It's like, fuck.
I'm seeing.
Do either of you guys play the Stanley Parable?
No.
I didn't. No.
No.
Did you?
Yeah, me and James played this one. It was
Any good?
really, it was interesting. It's super short, and it's just like, you know, you have a narrator that explains your day, and you can either listen to him or not, and see where it goes from there. There's like a bunch of different endings you can run into, but the time that I spent with it was like just really weird, listening to this dude and going through, and then I got to a point where I was like, started looking at the achievements for it and everything. One of the achievements is like, go to this room, and like you go find it in this office building. You find the office they tell you to, and they're like, the narrator says like, seriously, you did this for an achievement, didn't you? Like, all right, you want your achievement so bad, and he sends you on a quest to do a bunch of other stuff before you get the achievement. So it's like,
That's funny.
no,
They knew you
wacky
went
little
for a guide.
zany, yeah, that's like little zany things that, like, you know, fourth wall breaks and stuff to bring
like-
the humor in.
I like that stuff.
Yeah.
We can't not bring up Mario Kart 8.
Yeah, that's great.
That is the reason that I bought a Wii U.
It's an excellent game.
40 had tried pushing the Wii U on me from launch. He was like, dude, this thing's going to be great. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be sweet. And it wasn't until I saw Mario Kart 8 run on that thing that I was like, holy shit, dude, I got to get a Wii U again.
Yeah.
As much as it sucks that like you have to rebuy the games and there's no way to like have them, like, you know, it's like, oh, I have the Wii U version and you're coming out with the same exact game for the Switch.
For the Switch.
A discount or something. I'm happy that the Switch was so successful, so people got to play some of the Wii U games, because like
Right.
the Wii U console itself was like ass, but like the games on it were really good. Like Captain
I don't know,
Toad's
man.
Treasure Tracker, really good. Like
That
Donkey
game.
Kong,
Tropical Freeze.
Tropical Freeze, really good. Like,
Look,
Mario
let me just
Kart 8, really
let
good.
me just make this point. The Wii U, while clunky and, you know, kind of lightweight, cheap plastic feeling, doesn't have far range for the tablet. You know, you got to still be in the same room, and you it's not compact by any means, right? But it's the ideal way to play a lot of games. Like, I think it's number one, Super Mario Maker on the Switch. The big flaw, right? You once you dock it, there's no more using any kind of like stylus or anything, even if you had one, right? But with the Wii U, you could create on your lap, right? And it's all happening on the screen because it's just showing the screen, the TV screen showing what you're doing on the tablet, and then now you want to play, you just look up at the TV, and then you go back down here to make your level. Like, doing that on the Switch, you got to do it either with the control
One or
sticks.
the other.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I wasn't into that. I was like, you guys fucked up with this. Also, Breath of the Wild, I understand it runs kind of better on the Switch, but like almost to the point where you can't tell. But when you're doing some of the shrines and they want you to start rotating the gamepad around, right? You have to take it off the TV. Like, you can't experience that happen. Like when I played on the Wii U, I was able to do that with the gamepad in my hand. Like, I played with the Pro Controller, but I had the gamepad sitting right next to me. So when one of those came up, and then I'm still playing on the TV, you know what I mean? And moving the thing all around And
Uh,
the last one, hold on, was oh no, I guess that's just a game that the Wii U has that the Switch doesn't. And that's Pikmin, right?
Yep.
yeah.
Okay, so that one's not as big of a deal, but I just, they could have made like some adapter that goes in the Switch base while you're still holding the tablet in your hand. Or I don't know how they could have done it. I just know they could have done it.
Like, I get that the base is like a super useful thing for storage itself, but I feel like they could have just done a cord that plugged into the TV, and then as soon as you plug it in the cord, it hooks up the video, and boom, there you go. I really feel like the dock is just a
Novelty.
it really just limit what you can do with it, because once it's docked, like you said, you can't use it. That's it. Whereas if you had a cord, you could still potentially use the screen. Even if your video output is coming out through your TV, you can still use the screen. You can still use the gyro in the thing.
Yeah.
But instead, they just put it in a nice, neat little box for you.
And I could be wrong, right? Like, didn't you played Breath of the Wild on the Wii U, right, Mark?
Yeah. Both
Didn't
of us
they,
did.
Yeah.
They disabled, like, when you were playing, you couldn't use like both the TV screen and the pad at the same time, right? Because it seems like they made Breath of the Wild for the Wii U and then realized the Wii U was not performing well,
going to be
and then
around.
Ended up moving it over to the Switch, and since you can't use both the TV and the screen on the Switch at the same time, I thought didn't they they disabled that for the Wii U, right?
No,
So
I think you could use it, but it was just like your items and shit. But if you were playing,
to me, that would that's the perfect I'm playing on the TV and I can look down at the screen right here and access my inventory or whatever in game the Sheikah Slate, right?
Oh, yeah.
That is my pad.
Yeah,
that I have.
I think that's how they did it, isn't it?
I don't know. I thought that's how they intended it to be, but then because of the Switch version, you can't do that. I thought they made it to where you also couldn't do that on the Wii U, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
I don't know when you push the start button to actually bring a menu up, but I do know while you're playing that game, it just displays the message, please look at the TV while you're playing out on the TV.
I feel like that game was made to have you playing on the TV and the screen being able to access some of that other shit. Because they couldn't do it because you can't do that with the Switch.
That's how Splatoon was, the first Splatoon. Right? You used it as your map. And that's how,
yeah.
It was gamepad only, right?
Yeah. You had to use the gamepad so that you could do your super jump on the map.
Right.
Yep. Otherwise, you can't do the super jump.
Right.
I mean, you could play it without the gamepad, but then you lose that feature, which is a huge piece of mobility. So.
Right. Did we talk about Metal Gear 5?
I don't know. To me, that was a disappointment, but
what about Death Stranding?
Death Stranding is it's too early to say. I haven't even beat it yet, but it's really I can't stop playing it. It's really good.
I'm putting Grand Theft Auto 5 on the list.
Yeah, definitely. I almost feel like Grand Theft Auto 5 has a weird subset of I feel like Grand Theft Auto 5 Online.
That's what I was just about to ask.
List,
do you put them as the same thing, or are they completely separate?
Yeah, I don't know.
Can you have one without the other yet? Can you just get?
Can you buy just access to online? No, I don't think you can.
No.
So,
but you could buy Grand Theft Auto 5 and never get.
Yeah, that's how I
online.
Did it. When I bought the PlayStation 3 version, online wasn't a thing.
Yeah. That was the same thing when I got the 360.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, eventually the online came out, and I started on the 360.
Mm-hmm. Me too. Well, PS4 or PS3.
Yeah, but I moved it over to PC.
I mean, if you want to count them as two separate games, go ahead. But I say they both still be on the list. I mean, there is no list. We're just talking about notable games, and I think you can't not bring up GTA.
Yeah, everyone in the past decade has definitely been a pretty solid entry.
Yeah, and it is crazy to see I don't know, you, Mark, you said you've been watching some of the kind of funny stuff lately. Like
Mhm.
every once in a while, they'll do like like, oh, this report came out of like the top selling games for last month or whatever, and like Grand Theft Auto 5 is always in, like
Still
it's
there.
always in the top 10 now, and that game was fucking 2011
Yeah,
PS3.
yeah.
It's crazy.
It goes Minecraft, Tetris, GTA 5
Yep.
for most units
Yeah.
sold. But
It's
but-
crazy.
Minecraft and Tetris have both been pack-in games, and they were saying that Tetris is counting every single version of Tetris,
Version. Yeah.
which is kind of bullshit. But then again, it's kind of not, because Tetris is Tetris. So,
Yeah.
but if
No,
you
but yeah, Grand Theft Auto, like the success of online is crazy. Actually, that's like just a segue real quick for me to like shit on Red Dead Redemption 2. That's why I was so disappointed with that game. Is like I felt like, okay, you had like 7 years solid of just working on Grand Theft Auto. It's not like they were doing story DLC or anything like that. They were just doing Grand Theft Auto Online stuff, and it's like you had 5, 6, 7 years of online experience, and then the Red Dead Redemption 2 Online comes out, and it literally the worst thing you've ever played. It was so bad, and it's like I don't know how like I don't know.
I want to try it. I still haven't played it.
It like it's like they just for some reason like didn't consider that people would like grief. And it's like, how do you not? It's 2019. Like, how do you not like, or whatever, 2018 when it came out? It's like, so you can, if you online, if you headshot somebody, it's an instant down, and it's like it's online, so of course people are gonna headshot people, and it's like you can do it at any time. There's no like, I'm doing this quest or I'm doing this mission, and I don't want to like engage in PvP. That's not an option. It's like some asshole is going to get on your server and headshot you and then tie you up and put you on the back of a horse, and you can't do anything. And it's just the dumbest, like, I don't.
It's a Wild
Yeah.
Wild West, motherfucker.
It's so disappointing. Yeah, it's like, I guess, but like, I feel like that wasn't intended.
But there's
Like,
no private servers.
No, it's all public. You have no option. Like they did some weird update with the PvP stuff where it's like, now if somebody shoots you, then you have the option to like, if you shoot them back, then the PvP starts, but you still take the damage from when they shoot you. So it's like somebody will headshot you, and it's like, okay, well I can't do PvP here because if I shoot them back, no matter where I hit them, I'm going to immediately die because they headshotted me. So it's like still kind of pointless. I don't know. It's so dumb. Like
I don't think I would ever play the online of
the
that.
online was super disappointing, and the regular game was really disappointing for me too. But
Maybe I'll just not even bother then. I never
I
played
don't
the first
honestly.
one.
I don't think it's like, to me. It's like, yeah, go back and play the first one.
No,
'cause
actually,
it's a much better game.
the first one that I'm talking about is technically the second one, because the
The
first one
second-
was Red
yeah.
Dead Revolver on the
yeah.
PS2, and I played that, and that game sucks.
Yeah, that game's not great.
That game's terrible. Well,
Red
I
Dead
would-
Redemption 1 is like a classic. Like, I don't know. I'd put it up there with like all the other like Grand Theft Auto Rockstar games. Like, it's like up there.
When did that come out? 2000.
2011
Oh,
or 2010.
oh,
I think it was like the first year of this.
oh. So that one should be on there, and 2 shouldn't.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. No, I put Red Dead Redemption 1 on here. Like, that's definitely
You don't think that the story for 2 keeps up to the same standard of 1?
So I think it's weird because Death Stranding came out, right, and it's kind of the same argument that people are using against Death Stranding as to like why it's not a good game. It's like, oh, it's super boring, so like it's a bad video game. And it's like, to me, like Red Dead Redemption 2 went for like a super realistic, like this is a what it would be like to live in a Western world, and we're gonna make that as realistic as possible. And that's like,
Cowboy Simulator.
yeah, it's like fun, but also not fun because of that. Like,
Yeah, I heard it had a lot of tedious systems to it.
yeah, like there's just some stuff where it's like, okay, I get to camp and I see the guy across camp that I have to go to get my mission, but I can't run while I'm in camp. Like, why can't I run while I'm in camp? There's literally like they start the game off. You start off in like the winter, and so you're in like heavy snow.
Yep.
and so you can't run for the first like 4 hours of the game
Oh my god.
because you're in, and the excuse is, well, you're in snow, so you're moving slower, and it like makes sense that way.
Right.
But then winter goes away and the game stays like that. It's like you're in camp and you still can't run. And it's like, no, this is just bad game design. Like, why can't I run over to that person? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
No running. Be polite.
To me, the biggest issue with Red Dead 2 though is like it tries to be like Uncharted with like the story, where it's like or like Last of Us is a better example. Where Last of Us, I feel like they're telling you the story they want to tell you, and you don't really have a choice. You just have to go along with it.
Right.
But then there's no like opposing factor to that, where Red Dead then has, so that's like the story missions. The story missions, like, we're telling the story and you have no choice in what happened. Whereas the rest of the game is, here's an open world game where you have all the choice you could ever want.
Right.
And those two like opposing things don't work, where it's like, I just specifically remember there's one mission in the story where it's the first time you get a sniper or like a rifle in the game, and you get a rifle, and then the tagline comes up and it's like, protect the gang while they walk down the street. And so immediately I'm going, okay, I have a sniper. It wants me to use this. It wants me long range. What do? Oh, there's a building right across the street that has a ladder on it. Let me climb up the ladder, get on top of the roof, and snipe. Because that's like, I feel like what any person would do when the game gives you a sniper. So you do that, and then you get a mission failed. And it's like, I don't understand. I was killing everybody. Why did I get a mission failed? And then I do it again, and I get another mission failed. And it's like, what am I doing wrong here? Like, what the game doesn't tell you is, no, we're not wanting you to do that. We're wanting you to walk behind this carriage that's going down the middle of the street. And if you get a certain distance away from that at all, you immediately fail the mission, because we want you that close, because down at the end of the street, a cutscene is going to happen, and we need you to be close to the thing for the cutscene to make sense.
Right.
And so it's like stuff like that just immediately like breaks the like game, like the game for me, because it's like, well, in a side mission, I could have gone on the roof and shot somebody, and I'd have been perfectly fine. But because it's a story mission, I have to do it exactly how you want me to do, or I'm not gonna like pass.
Yep.
And it's like, to me, those two like opposing things, you just can't. It doesn't make for a good game when you.
I did hear those complaints a lot about the game. I actually heard the same exact story about the sniper mission, about climbing on the roof and then getting failed over and over and over again. I also heard stories of like, you know, you have to go with this person to a location and you fall off the path a little bit and all of a sudden you fail because you're too far away.
Yep.
Sounds like some fucking bullshit if you ask me.
It sounds like the story is very well directed and they want it the way that they want it.
It sounds like the train mission in San Andreas.
Yes, exactly.
Follow the damn train, CJ.
All you had to do was follow the damn train, CJ.
It's kind of like in like any of the Grand Theft Auto games where like you'll be doing like a chase scene like that or something, right? Where it's like, you know how like on the street it'll have like the marked out like yellow path for like what is the optimal way to get here. And like in Grand Theft Auto, it's like, I don't have to take that exact yellow path to get to the end point. I can take any of the other streets. It's just laying that out for me.
Right.
In Red Dead 2, it's like, if I don't take that exact yellow path, failed mission, restart.
Yeah. Really?
And it's like, it doesn't make any sense to me.
That's fucked up. That makes me not want to play it.
But then the rest of the game, you can do that, right? Like the rest of the game that's not story missions lets you do like,
you go wherever the hell you want, do whatever you want.
And it's like, I don't know, it doesn't work like that. I was super disappointing for me because of that.
I'm curious to see if there's any changes made now that they put out the PC version. Because
mods. Mods. I heard that people are just modding, like using mods to skip all that dumb story bullshit.
Yeah. The first like 6 hours of the game sucks.
Yeah, that's what I heard. I heard it was a real slow
It's
start.
not open. Basically, what they do is like, so the game is huge, right? And so there's obviously like a lot to learn. There's a lot of systems and stuff. And so rather than having like in regular games where you would have like the bullshit like here's a tutorial thing that like doesn't have anything to do with the game. We're just teaching you how to do it. They like spread the tutorial over like the first 2 chapters of the game, and it's like like I said, it's so slow, and it's like there's a whole mission on like how to ride a horse, and it's like, okay, I could have done this in like 5 seconds. Just like tell me like this is the button to get on the horse, this is the button to make the horse go faster, and this is the button to like get off the horse. But instead it's like, we have to go find this person, but also you don't know how to ride a horse yet, so you just have to follow along, and then we're going to teach you along the way. I don't know. That's the first like 4 or 5 hours of the game. It's a tutorial, but they're giving you story points, so you kind of have to like pay attention. I don't know. That game was.
It sounds like a
super
fucking
disappointing
headache.
for me.
Yeah, I feel like all tutorials should be optional. Like, sure, put it at the beginning of the game, but also let me know, hey, if you want, you can skip this and go right to level 1.
Like Rocket
like,
League.
I've played a Rockstar
Yeah.
game before. I know how like
Right,
some of
exactly.
this stuff works.
I know
like,
how to my weapon wheel and how to shoot.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Elder Scrolls 5 came out in 2011.
Skyrim.
Yeah.
Skyrim is up there for me. That's like a top 5 game for me.
I'm seeing
time.
No Man's Sky on this. Yeah, everybody loves Skyrim.
I put No Man's Sky on my list because I feel like I was like a trooper for that game when it first came out. Everybody was shitting on it. I'm like, dude, this is really fun.
I'm keeping it off my list because I tried to go back and play it after they supposedly added all the good shit, and I still don't like it.
Yeah, it's definitely like I don't know. It kind of reminds me of like Minecraft in a way.
Yeah, I don't like
where
that
it's like
shit.
a very like, yeah, it's a very like, I don't know, like it's a very chill, like I can play this game for 6 hours and it could feel like 30 minutes game.
Yeah.
You just get in like a groove in No Man's Sky or Minecraft or whatever, and it's just like, I don't know, I really enjoyed it. The fact that you can like see a planet and drive there in your ship and land on that planet and then get back in your ship
that part's
and
cool.
leave.
That part's
is the
cool.
coolest thing.
I just
So
wish
cool.
that there was more fun things to do on the planets other than like stay alive. Like,
Yeah,
I don't know.
but
I
was definitely a fan.
I'm gonna propose like it's 5 of 3, and
Indeed.
this is actually going pretty well, but I'm getting kind of tired. How about you guys? Pops,
I'm good.
yeah, you're wide
young.
awake. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
He's the only one.
It's Saturday. I worked all day. It sucks.
I work today too.
Oh,
I have to
well,
work
I
tomorrow.
never work on Saturdays, but I had to work today.
We're working the next few Saturdays so that we could have like the week off between Christmas and New Year's.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, working for not overtime.
Working for
A vacation.
future time off.
Yeah, I'm down with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to keep going, but it's that time.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
This is fun.
I'd say this was pretty successful
Yeah,
run.
no,
though.
I think we should do this again very soon. I think Pop is permanent cast member, not just.
Yeah, we should do it.
I'm drinking rum, so I'm not gonna talk. Oh, wait a minute, I want to
Oh,
talk
wait a
about
minute.
God of War.
Drinking
Let me
rum,
out of
so
work.
let me on a
All right.
microphone.
Yeah. All right, cool. So I'm going to actually play us out.
Oh man.
You're not so much that.
No, not like that.
We gotta get the what is the Donkey Kong game that came out for the Wii? Pull up the bongos.
Oh,
Oh, for the
Yeah.
GameCube,
Do the
Donkey
GameCube,
Konga.
Yeah. Dude, this gotta be our outro. You just pull up the bongos and fucking
I mean,
Jungle
you guys,
beats the shit
play
out
us
of it.
out.
you guys can't hear the music, but it is happening.
Oh, okay.
So say goodbye.
Is it Donkey Kong Jungle Beats?
It's not. It's more. It's more RTJ.
All right. Well, I can't complain there.
All right. So until when do you want to do it again?
Saturday nights work for me.
Yeah.
I mean, the only other plans that I have other than this is hanging out with 40. So, I mean,
All right.
Saturday nights are
whatever.
usually cool.
All right, man. Well, let's do that then.
All right. Yeah.
All right. So Till next
Till
time.
then,
Yeah. Peace.
peace.